All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Scotty Rorek Show. So, welcome everyone. Tonight, for the first time, we are broadcasting live over at Shadow Hunter's YouTube page. So, come over and see us there too, or our Facebook page. So, we're both there. Hi, Danny. Welcome to the show. Hey, so everybody, tonight I got a real treat for you. Two of my new best friends. Two of my newies. It's really cool to have them tonight. So, Nate and Breane Crotteau. They wanted me to say it French, but I can't. I told them I can't say that.
Thank you.
They can get their name better when they a little bit later, but it's Crotteau.
Crotteau.
Kind of like from Hogan's Heroes. All right, so hi everybody, welcome. So Nate and Breane. So why don't you guys give me everybody a little bit about you and your spiritual stuff? But they're also here to talk about CBD tonight, so very excited about that. They have a small business, and they grow their own stuff, but I don't want to take all their thunder away, so I'll let them go. Nate and Breine, go. Hi, Candy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nate Crotteau, as we will say it right now. We are hemp CBD farmers. We co-farm with our uncle. We grow hemp, and we turn all the hemp that we grow into a variety of products. We're called the farm-to-market kind of business, where we grow the hemp, dry the hemp, we do all the harvesting, the extracting, all the stuff that goes along with getting the CBD and the different chemicals out of the plant. We do it all. We don't have any middlemen in our company. So we take all that stuff and we end up making salads and tinctures and products like that for overall wellness.
All right, awesome. Yeah, that's what you do, but now talk about yourselves.
Well,
I'll start this time since he's chatty. And Nate's wife, we started the business back in 2018. Before we started Hempin, we call it. We're both in the medical field. I have over 10 years of experience in surgery, and then also I was an orthopedic assistant for about 8 years. And we really, that kind of gave us our background in how to help people. That's why we're really in it, in our fields that we have previously done. And now this is a way to help people naturally and be able to do this hemp right now.
Yeah.
You want to go?
So I have a background in medical as well, as Brianna said. I'm a registered nurse in the state of Minnesota. I'm not actively working because I do so much stuff with the hemp business right now. We do that full time, but I come from the fields of oncology and hospice nursing. So during that time, I got to experience a lot of patients who were using hemp CBD cannabis type products for symptom management. And boy, that kind of really drove me to realize how well natural herbal remedies can work for people, and we were just driven to make products that work well for people.
Cool, very cool. So what's the name of the business? Let's start there.
Holistic Wellness Services, and that's we try to be, we're hemp, we're mainly hemp, but we're branching out into other things too. We make some teas, we make some soaps, we make some other kind of alternative health products and options like that.
So the .com is what?
www.hwshemp.life.
There you go.
And you can find our online store there as well, information about us and all that kind of stuff. Browse around and leave us a message or a comment or get a hold of us that way. And we're on Facebook and Instagram and all that kind of stuff too.
And if you're ever in Moose Lake, Minnesota, we're at 499 Arrowhead Lane. And come on in and chat with us. We love educating and helping people understand how hemp works with your body and with other things that are going on and how to use the products.
Okay, so everybody wants you to repeat it again, so let's do it again.
Sure, it is. Can I leave a comment here? No. It is www.hwshemp.life. Let's see if I can see.
Yeah, we're not seeing.
I don't see a comment bar to leave any comments.
Maybe
so
you can.
It's www. What?
hwshemp.life.
HWSHEMP.com.
.life,
Oh,
LIFE.
all right. I think I can put that in. Hopefully it's right because it's going in both on Facebook and on YouTube.
That looks good.
Yeah,
That's
you got it.
Yep.
So put that up for everybody. It's in the chat areas, but it's also right here live.
Oh, cool. Thanks for the plug.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, they have great stuff. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what hemp is compared to marijuana or THC, all that type of stuff. So let's go into it like a deep dive into this, so everybody gets more in tune to what hemp is and some of the benefits it is. I mean, I'm taking my hemp, and I of course have my rub that I got from Nate. Or is it? There it is. Sure.
Yep.
I'm all backwards today. Trying to do this backwards is kind of funny. So
cool.
But so kind of give us a definition of hemp compared to all the rest.
Okay, so let's start here. Both hemp and marijuana fall under that envelope or that umbrella term of cannabis. So what makes hemp is that it has a regulated amount of THC, while marijuana is regulated, but it's not regulated on the low standards that hemp is. And that standard is hemp can have up to 0.3% THC by weight. It's a real, we call it a trace amount. It's not super prevalent. It's not enough to give anybody that marijuana kind of high feeling that a person would get. But that product having trace amounts of THC in it is a good thing. It makes for more of a beneficial product.
Would it be kind of like microdosing?
Yeah, microdosing on a THC scene for sure. It'd be like that. Yeah.
Our CBD level is at.
Yeah, CBD levels, when we grow our plants, our CBD levels might be around 10% in the plant, but the state will come in and test our crop, and they're making sure that THC level is just way down there. So we have to deal with all sorts of compliance and regulations and stuff like that in order to make it a proper hemp product. They give us some room for error, not very much, but they allow us some wiggle room where we're allowed to destroy our crop without becoming criminals if we grow too high of an amount or whatever. So,
okay, well, that's good. And that you said that, of course, that's for the state of Minnesota because that's where you guys are from.
Yep. We're from Moose Lake, Minnesota. Yep, and then we have a farm just south of us where we actually do all the work at.
So, how big is the farm?
We do our whole business off about a 4-acre field. The farm's a little bigger, but the growing area is about a 4-acre field with. And we don't grow traditional styles. We grow in an artisan style. And that means that we have about 200 fabric pots that we brought in. And when we shipped in a bunch of soil and we mixed what we found as a perfect soil blend, and we filled all those pots. And these pots are 400 gallons each. So they're big enough for me I'm a big guy, and I can climb inside these pots and lay down in there and stuff if I needed. But we'll grow about 1 or 2 plants in these pots, and then we care for each plant individually versus like treating them like a row crop like corn or anything like that.
Okay, that's good.
So
because I see people stealing more from the row crops, going out there and getting their own.
Yeah, people could target our field and potentially steal our products or our crop, and they're going to be disappointed in what they find usually, because typically those are people going after marijuana growers and stuff like that. They could take our product and steal it and try to smoke it, and they're not going to get very far in that department.
They'll be very clear-headed and very productive kind of.
Probably have a reduction in pain and all that kind of stuff, but they won't have a elevated high or anything like that.
Yes, and a reduction in the munchies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
they'll be still on your diet.
They'd also be cutting down like hemp trees. I mean, they grow when you grow them in artisan style, they reach very big.
They're big, bushy, lustrous plants.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. Sometimes you're reaching, way up there to touch the top of them. And
I'm 6 foot tall, and they might come out of the plants and be up to 8 feet tall. So,
wow.
Yep, if you really grow them right, and that's one of the best things about growing artisan is you can take care of each plant individually, and you don't treat them all the same. You look at them and see how they need to be treated.
Treat them like individuals, you know.
Yep.
And do they only last one season?
Yep. So we grow a couple different kinds of strains, but typically hemp follows a sun cycle. Cannabis in general follows a sun cycle where when the sunlight gets reduced to a certain amount each day, then that's when the plant actually triggers to start making flowers. And then we usually harvest in about October. So in August is when the sunlight gets low enough or just enough in the day where it triggers plants to start growing in a different fashion. So we're real time sensitive on that kind of crop. Where in Minnesota, especially, we have a short growing season, a short sun season. We have extreme weather conditions at times where it can be, 90 degrees one day and 50 degrees the next day. Hemp is a really, it's a hardy plant. It can handle a lot of those changing conditions. We've seen our hemp plants get beat up with wind, and yet still the remaining plant grows big, beautiful flowers on it and stuff still. So it's kind of neat to see how their will to survive, I guess, at times.
Right, exactly. So Candy asks,
I see that.
it's not Sermonia, it's cream on her hands.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Candy, feel free to reach out and message us on, I think we're Facebook friends and stuff too. So you can message one of us there for sure. We could talk more about that. We make a salve that's wonderful for our arthritic hands and sore hands. It's called Herbal Body Rub. It's the same stuff that Scotty had there. Want to tell him about the grocery store? Oh, we sit at the grocery store.
Okay. So we have some wholesale accounts around our local area here in Minnesota, and what we like to do before COVID, we would sit out at our wholesalers, and then we went on Wednesdays because we have this thing for our grandmas and grandpas and our people that are in pain. And what we do with our Herbal Body Rub, which is geared towards pain relief, we would say, hey, you'd see them come in because it was winter time, and you'd see them, oh, my hands are hurting, and that kind of, yep, can't bend them. And we would rub them down with salve.
And we're sitting at a grocery store, and we sit there specifically on Senior Citizen Discount Day because that's what most of the seniors come in. And that's kind of our number one customer a lot of time is that age bracket. But we'll lube them up, and then they'll
go shopping, and then by the time they come back around, they're like, yeah, this is great. I can really you can normally feel a difference within 5 to 10 minutes on just it's an anti-inflammatory.
Anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, anti-inflammatory. So yep, that's what I'm not supposed to say. Reduce inflammation.
It's for comfort.
Yes.
We got to be really coded in a lot of stuff that we say because my nursing license for one thing, and then the FDA doesn't have any approval into the CBD world, so we have to use a lot of coded language. Like we can't say CBD products help with anxiety. I can't say that, but we're more or less pushed to say it could take that nervous edge off, or we got to kind of word it in a way where it's not using disease or curing or anything like that. Lots of disclosures and that kind of game we play. But at that grocery store, it's funny because you'll just have little ladies who are like, hey, look at my hands. They're really working really awesome now. And it's really nice to see.
It is. It makes a world of difference for people.
This is my mom on the comments here. Cindy Slater. Hi, Mom.
Hey, Cindy. Hi, Mom. She's got the kiddos right now.
Yeah, aren't you watching our kids?
Shout out to Grandma.
Watching the show.
Yep.
Yeah, so see, even the family uses it. I use it too, so it's great.
She's been our guinea pig from the beginning.
Yep.
She's got quite the health background, and so we have her on our tinctures and our salve, and she uses them daily.
Yep, and she's our number one fan, I think, too.
Yeah, so it's really made a world of difference in her life.
So for the people that are watching, what is a tincture?
Okay, so traditional tinctures are made with alcohol. They go under the tongue and they sit there and they get absorbed that way. We have an oil-based tincture because you got to be pretty hardcore to take down an alcohol-based tincture because it burns. So we use an oil-based tincture. It doesn't absorb as readily, but it sits in your mouth for a little bit longer. Your mucous membranes then absorb it, and you can swallow the rest down, and it'll get absorbed through your GI tract and things like that. So.
Yep, the purpose for it to be absorbed through the mucous membranes is to get into that bloodstream and get to where it needs to go faster versus just straight swallowing it and then getting it digested through. It just takes longer. Donna's
my cousin. I got a lot of family support here tonight.
Yeah, this is good too.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for everybody.
Yeah.
Now here's just because you're on my show, this is the only reason I ask, because is there a suppository tincture?
Well, it wouldn't be called a tincture then. It would just be a CBD suppository. We don't make them, but that is a realistic way to ingest cannabis products. And it's a really needed way, because sometimes people have disease processes or injuries and things like that where they don't have a proper swallow, or they can't, use that part of their GI tract, their mouth parts and stuff like that. So a suppository gives a wonderful way in order to absorb things as well too. So it's a real thing.
Yep.
So here's the cool thing. So your mom can say this, but you guys can't.
Yep. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
So she says the tincture works well for keeping her calm and well, and she has a high stress job. Yep. So you can say that, they can't.
So I'll break some rules for the show here tonight.
That's going to be on YouTube and Facebook. So be careful.
I'll take it on. Well, I guess what I'm getting at is the tinctures kind of have a different purpose than rubs. It's a different route of ingestion. So we have in our bodies this thing called it's a body system. Like we have a circulatory system, a digestive system. We also have an endocannabinoid system. And that endocannabinoid system is a helper system. It supports all the other body systems. So when you take in something like an oral tincture and swallow it down, your body sends it to where it needs to go.
Okay.
Typically we have 3 reasons why we're having customers come in and use our products. And it's going to be for pain. It's going to be for mood support and for sleep support.
Okay.
And when you're taking a tincture, and if you're taking a tincture in for let's say that taking that nervous edge off, you're also going to potentially get benefits with a more comfortable sleep, where you're able to maybe get into that REM sleep cycle where your body heals a little more. And that helps, of course. Sleep is connected into so many different issues. Once you can get good sleep, you can get mood support, you can get, more healing in your body and all that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. So Brittany asked, can you use it for children who are teething to help ease the pain?
Every parent has to kind of weigh those risks and benefits of products for children. I'm not saying I'm against it. We use products for our children. We have many children. We have 4 with another one on the way. But we don't have necessarily anything that goes into the mouth specifically for teething pain. There is a lot of other potential good herbal routes for teething as well. But not necessarily something that we have a product geared specifically towards. Tincture may help, but a lot of times it's an experiment.
It is. I say with that, I would just literally put a couple drops on your finger and then rub it on there to see if they got some relief from it, in that kind of sense. And it's always low and slow. We always recommend with the tinctures low and slow, especially if you're taking other medication, and just young people. It's mostly. It has something to do with their weight as well, in that kind of sense. And just with kids, you always want to go low and slow, but we do use them, like Nate was saying, with our children. And it's mood is kind of one. We have a 4-year-old who has a lot of emotions and sometimes she just needs to take that nervous edge off. We got 6 of us in our house, plus 2 dogs and a guinea pig. So we're real busy. And I think she gets overstimulated, and she really appreciates her time in her room too. So it's not always the first thing that I go to. We always try a bunch of different things first. And if it gets escalated to a point, then that's when, maybe we'll try that. So
she takes on a lot of the vibe of the house. If the vibe of the house is high energy and kind of stressful, she feels stressful.
Yeah.
So here's a sister.
Yep, that's my sister Tammy. Yeah, I got a lot of support here tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks, family.
And who's Jenna?
Jenna's her daughter, our niece.
Yeah, she's 11, I believe.
We forget Jenna's age.
Yeah.
She's got to be
10 or 11.
10.
Yeah.
10?
12, 1,
So that's a couple things that people use it for.
7, 8, 9, 10. So I said all the ages, so you're good.
Yeah, we're covered. Yeah.
Can it be given to dogs?
Yeah. Yeah, it can for sure.
We have a tincture that is geared towards pets. And the same thing goes with them with the endocannabinoid system. They have that as well. So anything with a spine.
All mammals that have a spine, they basically can have an endocannabinoid system, so they can too benefit from CBD products.
Yes, and the big things for that is I see Yep Candy wrote there. That's definitely one that we hear all the time. Is fireworks, loud noises, anything like that.
Storms are a good one in comparison to fireworks. Yeah.
And if so, they know storms coming in, they'll give them their tincture or their dog treat. We have a tincture that we will drop on our dog's food. One of them will eat around where we put the tincture, and the other one eats exactly where we put the tincture. So the one that doesn't eat it, I got to hold him and squirt it in his mouth in that kind of sense.
It's bacon flavored, and that's.
You have one for us?
Well, that's what our Uncle Mike's been saying. Like, hey, why don't we have bacon flavor?
Go ahead and try. It's just
Mike, man, come on, you and I. Bacon.
Scotty, I tell you what, next time I see you, I'll give you a pet oil, and it's all human grade products. It's made with hemp seed oil, natural bacon flavoring, and then just our hemp extract. So
yeah. And the reason we switched the base to it, the carrier oil from an MCT to a hemp seed, was the research on the MCT oil for animals was some were saying it was okay and some weren't. So we knew that hemp seed oil is really good for their coats, and it's really good for their digestion.
Their joints too, because it's got a plethora of Greg. bacon. What are those old commercials? Where's the bacon? Yeah.
I was also going to touch base. I know Candy said for the fireworks, but there's a couple more with arthritic joints within animals that are in a lot of pain. It can help reduce that and help them move around easier. And the other one was, with COVID going on, a lot of people were home for a while, or they're working from home, but then they had to go back to work. And so it's like a separation anxiety, which some animals are having. And so they would give it to them before they left, so it'd make it easier on them as they were gone.
Yeah, so our human grade products, or our human intended products, have an MCT oil as the carrier. That is a medium chain triglyceride. It is a healthy saturated fat. And CBD is absorbed really well when you have fat as well. So, like, if
fat
you
and bacon, come on, dude, fat and bacon, we're all in. Come on,
it sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. So MCT oil is derived from palm or coconut oil, and it's just a healthy part of that spectrum of oil. And then I always like to throw this in there. We specifically found out that if you source MCT oil from the wrong spot, you're endangering orangutans. And we don't want to endanger orangutans. So we find orangutan-friendly MCT oil so that their habitats are not destroyed when they're sourcing it. Yeah.
The orangutan.
Yep. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that business would affect that?
Well, every business affects everything. So.
Yeah.
But you guys are trying to do it the best way.
Yep, definitely got to care for those animals. That's for sure.
Yeah, but you're also doing it for the way you grow it too. You don't use all the other crap that other people use. So good job.
Yeah. We're as all natural as we can be, for sure. And then we're not organic or anything like that. And I will argue organic all day long, because organic is a funny word. There's all sorts of organic products that are just terrible for you. Like, so people get caught up on organic on that term. But we stay all natural.
Yep. So anything, ladybugs and praying mantis are two really good ones to help with aphids. And so instead of spraying chemicals on there, you just go and bring those insects in, and normally we don't have to. They just show up. Praying mantis I haven't seen. So that one we could introduce. That'd be neat to see a bunch of those just walking around.
The ladybugs are one of our best friends out in the field. And it's actually ladybug larva that's even better because they'll crawl all over the plants and
just
eat things.
Eat all those aphids.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
So your sister says that it helped her with shingles.
Sure, yeah. Cannabis products in general have a wonderful affinity to help with nerve pain, and shingles is a nerve kind of disorder.
As you can tell, our family has been our guinea pigs.
Yes.
Very much so. And they've been great troopers about it and just helping.
And they're still here. They're still doing.
Right.
They're still doing okay after taking our products for so long.
Yeah.
I have to take some here when you get done with the show because I hit my leg on when I was getting dressed on the vacuum and it hurt my leg. So I'm like going to pain here. I'm like, I need my CBD.
That's the kids. Mom, my legs are itchy. They're dry. I need my hemp salve.
Yeah, our kids are hemp entrepreneurs and connoisseurs, and
that's the other thing we have for our salve is we have a nature's blend. It's called, and that's a skin. It promotes healing
and wellness.
Yes, it promotes just moisturization, nourishment, and it does give you a little bit of that pain relief because it has this CBD. It's half the content of our pain salve, but so it's really good for superficial wounds. Dry hands, I use it as a moisturizer probably 1 to 3 days. So all that hand sanitizer people are using, and we're getting out of winter here in Minnesota, but now we got the windy season, which a lot of the Midwest is seeing right now. And so it's really is a great salve to have too.
And another thing that we like to talk about.
My thumb, it hurts like a banshee all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, let's have a.
I'm using this product on the air, so this is just like QVC or the shopping network. Look, look how comfortable it feels. Nice. Ooh, and it smells beautiful.
All of our salves and our lip balms and our skincare products and things like that are paired with other herbs. It's not just hemp, and that's the beauty of our products is. We've taken some of these older family recipes from her aunt, who we like to call our local gypsy.
The gypsy witch.
Gypsy witch.
Like call her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had these old recipes that were already working for these types of skin issues and pain issues, and we just added hemp to them. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Everything is in our products for a reason. There's not anything like
just random. There's all. It all has a point.
Yep.
Yeah, and now it'll have bacon.
And that's point is to taste better.
Yeah.
So the animals will eat it. Otherwise, they'll be like, "What is this hemp taste? Earthiness."
Candy's asking about the CBD cream having a menthol cooling feeling there. Yeah, we have menthol crystals that we actually melt right down into the Herbal Body Rub, and it's light. It's not overpowering like a Ben Gay or anything like that.
Here, smell it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing of the future. The Zoom where you yeah.
I never thought we'd be one-on-one when I started radio. I never thought we'd be one-on-one like this on our computers and stuff, being able to talk and see each other. Yeah. Down the road, I'll be able to go, here, smell this.
Yep, you know
it'll be bad if I go, pull my finger. No.
Sure. So just to answer Candy's question real quick, yes, there is a slight menthol base. So Scotty, now that you put it on your hand, don't rub your eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. We always be careful where you put it. I use it for migraines to help take the edge off. Is really what it does too. So I can. When I get migraines, I have to be in the dark. I have to, not have anybody around me, earplugs. Sometimes I get nauseous.
Right.
And when I use the salve, I'll put it on my temples. But if I put too much, it'll, get that cooling effect in my eyes. So you just really got to be careful on just how close you put it.
Greg.
That's good because I haven't thought about that for using because I get migraines at least once or twice a week.
Oh,
so
really?
yeah. So if I can, I've been getting them a lot since my neck collapsed. So
I was gonna say I get them at the base of my spine.
yep.
At the base, yep, at the base of my head, right at the tip of my spine, and I'll rub it in there too. It's a good one, and I'll really massage it in because I'll find that spot where it's at and do a
Yep.
couple.
So Greg has a question. He goes, I've used oil before for my tremors. What would you recommend the dose be as far as mgs are concerned?
Let me take that one.
Sure, go ahead.
We like to tell people that the first month that they're taking our product is kind of an experimental month because we like for people to find just the right dose that works for them and not to have to go excessive. Just finding the right amount is the best way to stretch your product out the longest. So right. I think what Greg is saying here in a couple comments down is that he was using a 250, and I think you're referring to like 250 milligrams per bottle. And so for our products, like we make a 1 ounce bottle in tincture form now, a 1 ounce bottle with 500 milligrams of CBD in it. We make a 1 ounce bottle with 1,000 milligrams of CBD in it, and we're making a 1 ounce with 2,000 milligrams of CBD in it here in the future. And what basically that relates to is in that 1 ounce 500 bottle, there is 30 mils in 1 ounce approximately, and each milliliter would then contain 16.5 milligrams of CBD. When you move up into the 1 ounce bottle with 1,000 milligrams of CBD, each mil then equates to about 33.3 milligrams, and it kind of keeps going up as you go like that. So it's all about finding what works best for you. Just like anything else, like I could take a certain product and Brianna could take a certain product, but I might need less than she does, even at our size difference here, only because we have different receptor setups in our body.
So like we were saying earlier, we always like to start low and slow. If you have multiple things going on, we'll recommend the 1 ounce 1,000 because you can adjust your dosing. All of our droppers have calibrations every quarter of a mil, so you can really know how much you're taking and really have that control over how much you're putting in your body and being able to adjust as needed.
Nice.
So if he was using a 1 ounce 250 milligram, he would use a 0.5 mil of our 1 ounce 500 to equal that same dosing that he was at.
And then there's some terms that everybody needs to be aware of too. So we make a full spectrum product, and that means that every plant chemical that is in the field is essentially in our product as well, including trace amounts of THC that we're allowed to have. On top of that, the next one is a broad spectrum product, and that's where they've taken and removed the THC by like heating it and like a distillation process, and whatever else gets boiled off at that same temperature goes with it. So that's a broad spectrum product. Essentially, it's THC free broad spectrum. And then they also make a CBD isolate where they've just isolated that CBD molecule by itself and put it in a product.
Cool. Barbara has a question. Barbara asks that she has rough and peeling patches on the heels of her hands from having used the
walker and wheelchair.
That would be the Nature's Blend that we make. That is going to help heal up the wounds and the dry patches in there and moisturize it and nourish it and really just get it rubbed in there. When our daughter had dry patches in her anticubitals and the inside of her elbows, I would do treatments with the Nature's Blend. Lotions had alcohol in it. They'd always cause her to get irritated and burned, and we tried a lot of different natural things as well. And the Nature's Blend ended up just doing the best work for it. And that's something for dryness and those cracked skin. And that I would do like a morning treatment. And then if it was dry by noon, I would put another one on, and then even into the evening. So I'd do 2 to 3 treatments a day. And then normally by day 3, it would be all.
And it's really beneficial. Maybe, you know, that feeling you get after you wash dishes and your hands get kind of dry. Those are good times to put the salve on then too. Or like if you're using the Herbal Body Rub for a achy area, maybe after your shower, rub it on and massage it in. because your pores are more open and receptive to the different properties of the salve.
Great. Good. Thanks everybody for asking their questions. Feel free to continue because we have.
That was awesome.
You're welcome. Very
So,
good questions.
I know you guys got a ton of products, and we've only been talking about a couple. Why don't you guys kind of go through your products? And I know we've been kind of mentioning them, but let's kind of go through them and tell them what they're good.
I'll go grab some.
All right, I'll start talking about one of my newest favorites, which I'm maybe not the best spokesman for, but it's called the Hemp Matcha Stick. And I like it because all my customers are liking it so much. And I know my mom's a regular customer for that one as well. But it's hemp with matcha green tea powder in about a half-ounce stick. It's kind of like a big chapstick tube. It's a face moisturization stick. But what happens is the matcha green tea powder really works well with interacting with the collagen in the skin, and the collagen kind of firms up and reduces wrinkles. So Brianna likes to do this model where here's your skin without the hemp matcha, and then the matcha just kind of firms it up. You know, I guess I did your finger model.
Oh yeah, nice job.
Yeah, so everybody at home, don't worry. Nate was giving us the finger. So.
So this is the hemp matcha stick.
The size. Well, the size. Go ahead.
It's a half-ounce stick. It's an affordable price, and let's see, there is beeswax, calendula oil, hemp seed oil, the matcha powder, mango butter, frankincense essential oil, lang lang essential oil, rose geranium essential oil, and that's kind of how we do business with all those. Yep. We love essential oils. We love other herbs. We love pairing things together.
With all of ours, we use, they're not overpowering. Everything is just lightly scented. Yes, we have a lot of different things in there, but they're in there for a reason. And what's great about the matcha stick, ladies, is you can just, well, and gentlemen, sorry, you can just stick it in your pocket. You can stick it in your purse. It's really easy. It's really good, like I'm saying, the windiness and the sun, it gives your skin protection, as well as helps with, you know, the wrinkles and the other benefits of it from the matcha. And then it also will help soothe any inflammation that you have on your face, either from acne or just windburn. It'll help heal that up as well. So it's a really good, the Nature's Blend is this one, and this, and then the acne stick.
So does it help with wrinkles? Aging wrinkles?
Yep, the hemp matcha does. Yep, the matcha is what's known for that part. Helps with the collagen.
How about aging spots? I'm getting this all from the chat room.
Sure. No, the aging spots, maybe.
That would be an experiment.
That's
Let
one
us
of those
know.
experimental kind of things where we would love to build some evidence there.
The other little, for what we're calling is our skin food line. The matcha stick is a part of that. The Nature's Blend is a part of that. And then we have an acne spot treatment stick. It has the turmeric and ginger root in there, I believe is the ginger root. And you can put it on your acne spot and do just like a 20-minute treatment, half-hour treatment, and then wipe it off. Some people will use it overnight, so they'll put it on and do an overnight treatment. But be careful, it can stain your pillows. So maybe put something down over your pillow.
The turmeric root powder and ginger root powder?
Yep, I said turmeric, ginger root.
I blanked out there for a second.
That's
I
right.
got nervous.
Yep, so that's more of a treatment thing. This can be used in the summertime to help with the sunburn and that kind of stuff, to help heal it. It doesn't have UV protection.
Help soothe it.
Hey, thank you.
Help soothe.
He's got the nursing license. I'm crazy. I'm wild over here. Yeah. He's always got to rein me in. Yeah. So this is what Scotty was saying. So that's a pain salve. This is our there we go. Sorry, pet CBD oil. It's a 1 ounce 500. We're going to be coming out with a 1 ounce 1000 because we're having some folks with bigger animals.
Yeah, apparently a ton of people have Great Danes and Mastiffs and all those kind of giant dogs.
They just need more. Yeah. You know, 150 pounds. That's adult size. Let's see. Oh, lip balms.
Yeah, we got a ton of lip balms. We got lip balms that are geared for like which
one do you want?
Well, of course, you got to have everything lavender. If you have some kind of business and you're making products and you don't have lavender everything, you're doing it wrong, I'm thinking. But no, we have a lavender lip balm, and then we have this is my favorite, a vanilla cardamom lip balm. And then what else we got?
Those ones have more shea in it. So it's what I like to call for those chaps or lip balm addicts who like to put it on 10 times a day.
Tammy.
Tammy, his sister. It just is easy on. It's got more shea butter in there. So it just goes on really easy. It also has our CBD full spectrum hemp extract in there. So it's really good for soothing inflammation and promoting health of the lips. And then the next one that we
Tammy agrees.
I'm sorry, Scotty.
Right.
So the next one that we have, this is the holiday blend, the green one, and then the red one is a pomegranate. The holiday blend has like a cinnamon spruce. That's actually my favorite because it's thicker. It has more beeswax in there. I'm pretty simple. I like to put it on once and go on with my day. So I like being outside a lot. So this really, and plus I'm chasing 4 children all the time. So I can put it on once. It'll last me all day. And even if you put it on before bed, it'll still be on in the morning. And so those are really nice. So those like a one and done kind of deal.
Beeswax-based lip balms are awesome because beeswax has this wonderful property of protecting on the outside, but it also helps draw fluid from within the body to that area.
Okay, and I'm going to be stupid again and silly. Now, also, does it rub off if you kiss or if you eat or that type of stuff? Do you have to reapply after?
Depends on how messy you are, Scotty.
What kind of kissing are we talking about
here?
Yeah.
It's a good makeout session, probably.
Yeah.
Probably have to reapply that, yeah.
Or everybody got a little chapstick then, yeah.
Yeah, otherwise you're hearing.
Now, would Terry have, good coverage then? If we both had?
Yeah, you'd be good to go, yeah.
The last 2 lip balms, we have 6 of them.
You guys got to try that now. You got to try that and then let us know.
Okay.
A live session?
Thanks,
no, you don't have to do it live. After the show.
Brianna's blushing if you can't tell. Yeah.
It's really easy to do.
That's why I did it.
This one is our candy cane. We have maybe about 20 of them left over from the holiday season. And then the Cocoa Sun. These both have UV protection in them. And what that means is there's natural UV protection. It's carrot seed oil, and then the zinc.
Zinc oxide
is
natural UV protectant, and then
red raspberry seed. So those are the 3 that help give the UV protection on there. And
how much the UV is, or have you guys tested it or not yet?
We don't test for that because it's a outrageous test.
It exceeds the economic threshold of our small business. So.
Yeah. My aunt says it's about 20 SPF, I believe. Don't be mad at me if I'm wrong. Total estimates by her math that she does to make the products. There's
charts to follow that when a product contains a certain amount of zinc by weight, it has this much UV protection to it and stuff like that. Yeah. Off the top of my head, I'd have to do a little bit more research to give you those numbers.
Yep. So out of the 2 of them, the Cocoa Sun has more UV protection than the candy cane. But that's all for the lip balms. We got 6 of those. And then we went over the tinctures. I guess what I can show you is I just brought the 1 ounce 500s over. We have orange ginger, the coffee, peppermint was our number 1 seller. And now it's a tie between that and the blueberry. And we're looking at coming out with pomegranate is the next one. It's so those are
We also
Those are all
make,
products.
we started making soap. So we make
I forgot that.
goat's milk soap. And it's goat's milk soap. And in the recipe that somebody taught me how to make some soap recently. But in that recipe, the olive oil that goes in the soap, we have infused with our hemp flour. And so then I filter the hemp flour back out after we do the infusion. And we use that hemp oil, that hemp olive oil then for our recipe.
Well, that's neat. I like that.
Yeah.
Really cool.
All right, here they are. So
HWS hemp.life. So if you're going to their page, it's up on the page. Oh, that's cool.
beautiful. There's that one.
That's nice too.
And look at this cool mold.
I can tell you're a mom of many kids.
That's right. Gotta always make everything interesting to keep their attention, right? The other thing that we just started doing, because we've gotten a wholesale massage therapist, a couple of those, but the one that's really taking off is the Well up in Duluth. And they've just been loving. We started doing a massage oil for wholesale for massage therapists. They are buying this one and the Herbal Body Rub in bulk form for adding on to their massage as an add-on for them. So the massage oil also has argan oil in it, as well as the hemp seed oil infused with calendula. Calendula is in all of our skin stuff. It's just amazing for the skin. My aunt even makes, we're going to come out with a baby line that's all natural.
Non-hemp.
Non-hemp. This is kind of us branching out into the non-hemp. We started doing some herbal stuff, like Nate was saying, with other plants and that kind of deal. But that one has a calendula salve in there that's just amazing. Adults can use it too, and it's just an alternative thing. What I like to do with that one, if you're doing some sort of big treatment with the Nature's Blend, is use that one in between the Nature's Blend.
You gotta hear the elderberry.
Oh yes, I brought this one too.
And I think one of our last products to talk about here is we recently started doing elderberry syrup kits. Elderberry syrup's wonderful for just daily immune health. But when you do get sick, you could take it in like double the dosing. And there's echinacea in there. There is, elderberry is great by itself too, but there's all sorts of antioxidants and herbs that are helpful during those sick times like that as well too. So it turns into a syrup, and I think our kids every day are like, Dad, I'm ready for my elderberry syrup now, and all that kind of stuff. So
you could even put it on your pancakes if you want.
That's where I was just going. I was just going to go for the pancakes.
Yep, waffles, French toast,
Yep.
Definitely. It has a sweet taste to it, and even with the other herbs in it, it's really good. We source those herbs from Star Botanical.
Star West Botanicals,
Star
where
West.
we get most of our herbs from, our raw herbs.
Maybe one day we'll grow all our herbs, but
sometimes you just got to let the other companies that do a good job at their
Yep.
stuff do a good job at their stuff and help them out. Yeah.
It actually works better that way than trying to be the good at everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Put in your lane, or on your road, and let everybody else, help you. I think that's the best way to do it.
You know what we're not good at is making hemp CBD gummies. We have literally tried many times, and we've gummed up our kitchen equipment. We've made messes galore. They've tasted awful. They're chewy and weird. So we just buy them from somebody else now.
Yeah.
So we
wanted to do like a vegan or really a natural good, not using
more of a
any
healthy gummy.
Yeah, healthy gummy. That's really hard. So if there's any all natural vegan-ish gummy out there, get a hold of us, please. We would love to reach out to them. The ones that we get is from a veteran-owned company out of Michigan. And so we like supporting the vets, obviously. Thank you, everyone, for your service. But it has like the red dye in it, and it's a specialty item.
It's a niche market for us. So.
Some people just really like to ingest CBD versus taking tinctures, and though it doesn't follow our all natural healthy standard, we
I tried both, and I didn't like the gummies.
It's really hard to find a good company where they taste good.
Yeah,
These ones taste good.
And work, yeah, like you're saying.
Tinctures work so much better. It's just so much nicer and quicker. I didn't get as much off the gummies.
Yeah.
Well, if the other gummies, never mind. We won't go there.
Well, that's a whole other talk.
Yep,
Yeah.
And that's the ingestion. That's
And
the
they do good too. But then the munchies come. Sorry.
Yep.
I got a height those, so I don't need more of those.
That's not my friend.
At least you can get them from dispensaries now, and you can understand how much is in a gummy, that kind of deal. With our CBD gummies, they put the milligrams on there per gummy as well. We like everybody to be, I don't know if it's a state standard yet, but the 20%, or is that, I think that's kind of
the deviation.
Yeah.
There's a room for error on products and stuff like that. So that the labels are accurate and things like that. But sometimes the industry is just unregulated and you don't really know what you're getting sometimes. So
it's hard to find those sources.
Greg asks this, and I don't remember what it is. So Greg, give me more details. He says, "You guys asked Scotty about what happened to the dressing room and makeup." He promised.
Yeah, Greg says to me that while I'm in the waiting room, getting ready for the show here on StreamYard, that there was supposed to be beer and all this kind of stuff, and I didn't see nothing. So
there's not.
Yeah.
You might. Unfortunately, DoorDash doesn't go all the way out to. and only got to the cities and then it stopped. So I'll send it over to the Gurneys so they can drink it.
Yeah, well, that's our closest stop probably there. Yeah.
Right. That's cool. Does anybody else have any questions on CBD? That was great. Thanks, guys. I mean, that was really cool to learn more.
Awesome. Everybody had great questions. We appreciate you having.
It's easy. It's nice with questions because then we can get specific details out and information out to people that want it. So.
Well, sometimes you have so much information. You're like, where do I start? So you always got to feel people out to kind of feel where they are, how much they know, and what exactly they're wanting to know for each ailment kind of deal.
Well, thanks, Barbara. That's really cool.
I'm anxious to view your website.
We strive to do education as number one for people because we realize how much education is actually needed. This kind of stuff stems back from how they used to call marijuana or cannabis in general the devil's lettuce and all that kind of stuff, and reefer madness and all that stuff. We still face some of those kind of things today with certain crowds. And so we strive one person at a time to change minds and change lives, I guess, that way too. So.
By educating, that it helps immensely. So that's one of our main goals, is to get the education out there.
And that's the same thing in our spiritual world that we're trying to do. As Psychics Unite, which you guys are members, and everything we do, even on this show, is trying to educate people to know that the spiritual life and the hemp and what they're doing just goes together so much. But we have to get this out, and so people know that this is us helping us. We're not saying don't do. I mean, they're in the medical fields, and they say it's both. You have to have the medical field and this to make your life better. Too many people think you have to do one or the other, and that's wrong. You got to do what you do to make yourself healthy.
Yep.
Exactly. They can work together. Definitely.
Yeah. So the more we can do this and really work and help do us. I mean, because it's hard to get even to a doctor now. So see if this helps. See if this starts, and when it does work, then you won't be running so much for the others either. So, and I can say that because I'm the show host, not a purveyor. So I'm very good.
Well, and not only with just the hemp stuff. Thank you. Meditating. I take our tinctures for anxiousness, for my mood, and a lot of other things that can help contribute to that help is meditating and taking time for myself, and which I'm going to have to do because it's 7:55.
Yeah, I know. You have to leave. So how did it go so fast? I don't even know.
I don't know. I just looked too. I was like, that was an hour already went by. I got to get going. Thank you so much, Scotty. I really appreciate it. I'm going to leave Nate here and
now we can really start the show.
Yeah, now you can really. You two don't behave.
Why should we start now?
Oh, yeah. Take care, Scotty. We'll talk to you soon. Yeah. Bye.
All right. Bye. Bye. I'll see you later. Love you. All right. Yeah. Breane had an obligation. Sorry about that, but I'm here to talk for the both of us.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So, if anyone has any other questions on CBD, we'll keep going. But, well, thanks, Danny. You know, most people think we're pretty close to the end, and we can be, or we can keep going if we want to talk some spiritual stuff.
I'd love to talk spiritual stuff with you.
All right, that'd be great. So the cool thing, and so then, unfortunately, I call you out on these shows.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
He's ready. The cool thing about Nate is that him and I met at a show I did. Is that a year ago already?
Yeah, in Superior, somewhere around a year in Superior, I believe.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't seem that long.
Yeah,
it seems longer because we're closer. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But Nate was running and doing the fair that I was doing at, and he came over for a reading, and we got into it, and now he's he's a very spiritual man. Very excited. We're going to grow further.
I've come a long ways.
Yeah, really has, and it's kind of neat. You know, he's just still trying to figure out his gifts and where he is, but in the end, he'll be able to talk to dead people too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know. It excites me. I'm not going to lie. That is an exciting thing in my life. Something that I really aspire for. So I'm not ashamed of that a bit.
No, and what's kind of cool is he already knows the spirit guide, the spirit animal. He's got his team ready to go as we continue to move forward in training. But before this, that's where I want to get going and let everybody know is what did you think of all this before we got into this, before you got the reading? You know, I mean, I know that you worked in the hospital as a nurse and did a lot of hospice stuff. I mean, what did you think of the spiritual side?
Well, I was raised, in a religious background where for most of my life that was a certain level of spirituality for me, but it seemed always artificial in a way, like programmed and formed for me, like something just this is the way you have to follow this route and path. And so I embraced it in a way and I didn't embrace it in a way. But for me, as far as my spirituality, sorry, that's our doorbell, our spirituality in general. I'm
glad you accentuated your point.
Yeah. As a hospice nurse, my curiosity was incredibly piqued because of some of the things that I would experience with my patients. So when you're towards the end of your life, you often have hallucinations. And we are trained as nurses to treat hallucinations, but only if they're negatively affecting the patient. So oftentimes I would have patients say, hey, there's my brother Jim. He died 10 years ago, but there he is. And I had a nice conversation with him in the TV. Well, great. Fantastic for you. I'm not going to treat that as a bad hallucination because he seemed to really enjoy it, But sometimes there's more scary things for people, fever, hallucinations and stuff like that we'd have to help them out because the idea is comfort, but most of the time people would talk about seeing animals that they used to own. They would see shadowy figures in their room. They would see loved ones that had passed away. And it just, after you go through this with people hundreds of occasions, it's like, well, there's more there. There's more. There is absolutely more. And I used to give my mom such a hard time because she would go to, different events and fairs and get readings, her and my sister and my cousin. And boy, I'm sorry, guys, I gave you such a hard time. I mean, I am a believer now, and I apologize to you, but I would kind of make fun of them. But my mom had a experience when I was a young boy where she was ejected from a vehicle. She kind of ping-ponged off trees in the woods and a big nasty accident. But she tells me a story of how she was hovering over her body, and she could see her body, and she could look down and see herself bruised and battered and beat up. And she would tell me about beautiful images and colors and how peaceful it actually felt, and how everything just felt okay at that point. And then somehow she heard voices or people yelling for her, and she was back in her body, and that kind of stuff. And I didn't think about this too much until I met you, and I started digging back into my past. For some reason, I have so much stuff in my past that I've locked away and buried, but I've had more experiences in my life than I just locked them away for some reason.
Right.
Me and my sister, I remember we used to play Ouija board, and I shouldn't say play, but we would use it, and
And it's okay to say played because most people do that. Most
Sure.
people start playing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had that level of exposure too. My dad used to do seances, so I grew up with this really actual, very spiritual background. I mean, I was the chaplain for our Boy Scout troop, and things like that. And I can reflect back now, and I can encompass it all into an overall bigger picture. But I was confused there for a long time.
Yeah. So do you think it was part of science, your science side and your spiritual side, and you were leaning more towards science than spiritual? Because I've seen this a lot on like Netflix and other documentaries and stuff. There was one doctor who was like your mom, had had a near death experience, and he came back, and what's so funny about that is because I teach in my classes, and Nate already knows what I'm talking about. But the meadow, he actually, the way I have people envision it is exactly what Netflix had on the screen. Exactly the same. Meadow, water, mountains, trees. Exactly. So and my wife Terry goes, "Oh, Scotty, isn't that your meadow?" I go, "Yeah, it is." So that was validation for me that here's another person that never heard of me saw the same thing when he crossed over.
Sure.
So, but he was of science and he never believed until now, and now he's helping trying to prove.
Yeah, I think I was more science-based, like tangible things I could touch and feel and understand.
Right.
Definitely, I made that switch into there's science only goes so far, and spirituality picks up, and that's and they can actually overlap in many realms too.
Yeah.
But the science side is usually too stuck in their ways, or not. I'm stereotyping here a lot, obviously, but you know what I'm saying. People get stuck in their ways, and nope, it's got to be science. And well, like Terry often says, I think science is a repeatable kind of like something that you can do an experiment on and can replicate things and stuff like that. And there's tangible evidence and stuff like that. And if you don't have it, it's no longer science in a way, I guess. But
I should have kept the EVPs that I had. So we went to a cemetery in Kentucky once, and we were able to get in touch with this younger spirit that died young. And and when we go to cemeteries like we did for this night, it's the only reason that the spirits show up is because we're coming or we're there. Otherwise, they're not hanging around at the cemetery. So don't anyone think that. That's not
sure.
But so he was there, and we got a really cool EVP from it, and it was very distinct younger male voice on the EVP. Then we went back a year later, went to the same place, did the same thing. We had another EVP that matched the same voice. So for me, that's repeatable.
Sure. I see what you're saying. Yep.
You know what I mean? So that I should have kept it, because that would have been okay. So we had it 2 years, 1 year apart, same place, same voice, different messages, but same voice. So to me, that would be a scientific breakthrough because it's repeatable.
Yeah,
and not that you can always do that with spirits either. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But that's the difference, and I think it's repeatable because as spiritual people or psychic mediums, I'm able to talk with spirits way more than and then repeat. Than
before. You have valid points for sure. I see where you're going there. No.
And that's it. That's how I'm writing this. I'm channeling this book for Kristen about his son Sean, who died in Milwaukee, And every Monday we sit down and we talk with him, and I talk with him during the week too. But we're able to bring him through, and he's teaching us what the other side is from his view, and from somebody that died young. So it's going to be kind of a cool book. But there again, it's repeatable. Every Monday or every when we meet Sean, he'll show up. My dad's the same way. There's a lot of spirits like that. So
Sure. Is Sean essentially the author then?
yes.
Yes. Okay. That's really cool.
Yeah. What was really cool was he actually edited his obituary.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So his mom wrote it, and we sat down in one of our meetings, and he goes, "Nope, take that out. Don't like that. Put this in. Nope, nope, nope. Bad word." It's really funny. And then I just met Kristen's brother a few weeks ago from the other side, and he was a very good writer. He was a sports writer, and he was very, very famous sports writer. And he told Kristen that he'll help edit the book when we get to that point. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Really cool. That's nice help. Yeah.
So we'll put on there, edited by spirit this person.
I bet no one else has wrote a book like that. Yeah.
Exactly. But that's that's what I'm talking about, trying to be repeatable, trying to figure this out, because too often people get discouraged about the spiritual world, where to me it has to be science. I can't see the world not being combined. It has to be both, because if it's scientific, so if energy can't be created or destroyed, that proves the fact that we're everlasting beings, because our body's full of energy.
I agree with that, and I often I sit there and I wonder, like, I can see like when I was a hospice nurse, their body was just there, and then I know the energy from the scientific side. We know that you can't destroy energy, so where does it go? Well, to me it only makes sense then in a spiritual way to, like, well, that's where it went. It's on the other side.
But that's the same thing from the spiritual side, though, too, that I get kind of disappointed with people who try to go too far with the other side, because it still has to match what we have here. It's got to be the same. It's got to be the same energy. It's got to be the same principles, because the afterlife can't be any different than what this is, just a different form for our energy.
Hey, this brings up something that I remember. Somewhere along the way in my hospice stuff, I read about this old experiment where this scientist was trying to measure the weight of the soul. So he would have the beds converted into a scale, essentially. And at the time of passing, I think after all of his documentation, I don't know the numbers and the data and all that stuff, but the essential summary is that the soul weighed like 21.6 grams or something in his research, I guess. And I was always fascinated by that study. Like, how cool is that? Just like trying to breach both those worlds at the same time, I thought was pretty neat.
Right. So Candy brings up a question. How does one learn about all their gifts, and even if we know some and have our experiences? The best way to do is get with a mentor. The nice thing is, I'm going to bring it out tonight. Psychics Unite we're trying to create a university where we'll be able to give classes from 3 teachers, myself, Devin Evans, and Jen Hutchins. The 3 of us are starting as the beginning 3 teachers there. We're going to be holding classes in gifts. We're going to be holding classes in my mediumship, and they're going to be doing, and I can't remember exactly because we haven't defined it all, but look forward there, or come to our Psychics Unite meetings. PsychicsUnite.com is the webpage. It also has on there, so Candy, ask at the meetings. I know you come to the meetings, but ask in the meetings, come see us and we can help you define what you have or what you're feeling and tell you what it is. This last Monday, we had a very good one after Nate talked about, he also talked about CBD there. And we had a big conversation about gifts and how people, we started out with what's a clairvoyant,
Yep.
What's this, really kind of define people and have them understand what they need. And I think that's one of the classes in the university will happen too. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it does. Her internet's been freezing. Yeah, I know. So keep trying.
Yeah,
Everything.
second scene has been great because it's almost like, sometimes you can sit back silently and just listen in, or other times your topic is engaging and you want to get involved. You're allowed those freedoms. Everybody's really accepting. There's no judgment. I've never felt judged or out of place. Oh yeah, I used to have that new shyness or whatever when I first kind of started coming, but listening to everybody's experiences and how vast their experiences are, and it's just really interesting. You learn so much. There's a lot of different faces, a lot of different people from around the United States. So they like to listen to me talk, I think, because I'm always saying things like out and about and, hey, there, sure, yeah, you betcha, that kind of stuff. And
because you're the most Minnesotan that we
have. Am I really? Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't have anybody from the groups from Dakotas yet. So once we get there, then you'll be outpaced. But
hey,
for you,
that Fargo movie, that was actually a Minnesota accent, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I know. I came up to Minnesota and I taught a class, and in the class I said something, and one of the students goes, "Oh yeah, you betcha." It took me about 20 minutes to stop laughing. I couldn't get the class back on track because every time I started laughing again. I said, "You really say that up here?" I thought it always was a joke,
No, I say it myself.
He goes, "Oh yeah, you betcha." I'm like, "Great."
Or just that, oh yeah, part,
We get a little bit of that. We get a little bit of that in Wisconsin, but I don't get it from too many people that have too much of a Fargo accent.
Who's commenting on the Shadow Hunters here? Is that who's in charge right now?
Sharon or Nick?
Sharon or Nick? Well, thank you. I don't know which one to you to thank, but thank you.
Yeah, let us know who's behind that, because that happens to me. I even put the website on to buy your stuff, and it still shows me as Shadow Hunters and not Scotty. But whoever's running this stuff is always in that. So what is your biggest aha moment since you started coming to the spiritual side a little bit?
I've had a few. Let's talk about this. I got stranded in Wisconsin over the weekend, Stevens Point, with my family. We went. Yeah, we both.
That was funny. I got stuck in Minnesota, and you got stuck in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
so
we were both.
We had the same weekend. We had a weekend apart. We both had the same thing happen. I got stuck. It took me another day to get it because you had your Uncle Mike come and help you.
Yeah, we both had transmission problems.
Is he need the one for bacon too?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
I know why I like him. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
So I had I had this feeling. It wasn't a bad feeling, but something was telling me something was wrong with my van. But I'm not a mechanic. I don't recognize those things normally. But something was just on my mind where I was telling Breezy, I'm like, hey, we have to drive 2 vehicles. I just feel like we're going to be in this scenario where, and I think I might have been thinking about you a little bit in your scenario, where you got stuck the weekend before. So I was telling Breezy, I'm like, I think we should drive 2 vehicles. I feel like I'm going to get stranded with the van. And then I kind of forgot about it, but I basically had asked her to cancel the show at one point, and she said no, and then she's the boss. So we didn't. But I didn't think much more of it, and we went out to the show. We had swimming time with the kids. The show was very slow, and that was kind of my first cue that I should have listened to myself. I was like, I like the event host and all this kind of stuff, and I won't say anything bad by any means. I didn't do so well at that show. No one else's fault. It just happens, and that's part of business. But I kind of knew that was going to be the outcome because I had felt something off. And then on Sunday, when we were getting ready to leave, my wife went to get us some coffees and stuff, and the transmission in the van just like crashed out, like no movement, gears grinding. And I told her, I said, hey, Breeze, I told you all that stuff about how I wanted to stay home and everything, right? I didn't forget to tell you that stuff, right? And she's like, no, you were right. You said all that stuff, and it's all coming kind of true like you thought it would. And well, that was my intuition. I should have. I was being communicated to, and I didn't take it seriously. There was help for me before all that went down, but I got to learn lessons the hard way all the time. But it gave me a realization of like me and Breezy both like, and my mom said the same thing to me. We really got to start listening to our guts better. Now that's a lot of people, just you got to start listening to your guts.
Yeah, because the gut ain't the gut. I always say a gut is spirit. So
sure.
So Candy asked if is that considered negative thoughts or intuition? And Candy, that would be intuition. Because it's not the fact that he was negative on it. He was just hurt it.
Sure. And I didn't feel like I wasn't in a bad mood about it. I wasn't feeling like poor me or anything like that. It was just an odd, almost out of place feeling because I get excited to go to these shows. I like going to the events and seeing you and seeing some of the other vendors and gaining friends at these things, and stuff like that. And I enjoy them, but that didn't stop me from having that feeling of something was up.
Yeah. And that show was a little bit different because the other group that I worked with had a show there just 2 weeks before. So it's a little tough in small towns to get 2 weeks of vendors out, you know what I mean? Or 2 weeks of shows. So the good thing is they're going to talk and they're going to move it, apart. So both shows, still going to have shows, but they're going to be apart from each other in the areas that they are. So that should help both companies. So
I saw a little meeting of the minds and coordination there going on. So that was cool.
Yep, trying to make it good for all of us. I mean, but yeah, even with me, I have some shows that are great and some shows that are slower. And it's just the way the shows go. And,
you got to maintain that positive outlook because I was still able to pass out a ton of information about my company. I was able to meet some new potential wholesale accounts and all that kind of stuff.
I asked you to be on the show then too.
Yep.
So that's kind of fun.
Took some pity on me. No.
But see, that's the truth too, because now, Candy, so in my aspect of it, with my weekend, I let it get to me, and that's negative thoughts. Because I went down the other side because I was so far from home. I was, 6 hours from home.
Yep.
And my van was having the same problem, shifting weird. But the people that were around me helped me. Nate was there if I really needed him. Everybody was ready for me to help. And then I started looking at it. Oh, that's amazing. Look at the friends I have, the wonderful acquaintances and people that I don't know well, even trying to chip in and helping me. So it was just really cool thing. I got a number of a place to go right away on Monday morning. So I stayed at a hotel an extra day. But right away Monday morning, I went down to the place. He goes, "I'm busy today, but just bring it down. We can see what's wrong." He hooked it up and said, "No, it's just a sensor. I can get it done today." And I was out.
Fantastic, because those transmission problems can be so much worse. So.
Yeah, they could be $3,000-$4,000. But it wasn't. It was just a sensor that was causing issues. And so if I would have trusted Spirit, because I didn't feel, because on Sunday I started trusting more. On Saturday and Friday when it happened, no, I was pretty wrecked from it. But I needed to listen, and everybody see me, that I've been in this for quite a while. I have to do it yet because there's times when our human side just goes too much and we got to go, enough's enough.
Yeah, that's a human aspect. Yeah.
And when I truly listened to Spirit, it just fixed itself right away. And I was on my way home. Everything was great. Everything's still great.
Yeah. And sometimes I probably wasn't meant to leave at that time that I wanted to leave. And, the intervention might have been in my favor. You know what I mean?
See, that's the other thing I looked at. What did they stop me from doing, or what was going to happen that I had to stay there? It's happened a couple of times. It happened when I fell down and hurt my face. Had to cancel the show, had to do that. But what made me stay home that week? What was going to happen if I did something else? You got to look at it that way too.
Sure. Absolutely.
So, well, good. Well, we're almost an hour, an hour and a half, hour 20 minutes.
Hour 20? Well.
Yeah. We'll have to have you guys back on sometime. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't believe how fast time goes.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Terry recommended me some videos at the meeting on Monday night. Vsauce. And, It's Okay to Be Smart, I think she said. Yeah. So I watched this time one from this Vsauce guy, and I was just like, I like those things that make your mind go like,
So what you learned from it? We got a couple minutes here. We can go.
It talked about how when you're young, time feels like it's going on forever. Yeah, like it's time's really long, and it's because in your overall experience, that's a majority of your time, I guess. So I'll get to explain this a little bit better. But as you get older, now when I reflect back on my childhood, that's a smaller portion of my life. So it's basically I now have this experience that's I'll get centered in the camera here this long, and so it kind of talked about how time perception is now shorter because you're only looking at a little glimpse of a whole picture. And then, I'm not super well versed in it, and it's still blowing my mind a little bit to wrap my mind around it. But it was really, just that kind of stuff. So,
I can feel it. I'm now 55, and I can feel the difference because when I was a kid, I couldn't tell you how long it was for me to get to 16 so I could drive a car.
I remember being a kid and being like, I can't wait till I'm growing up to be an adult. And now I look at being an adult and I'm like, slow down. My kids are getting huge. They're growing super fast. It really is a different perception of time for sure.
And it's so amazing because time doesn't really exist. It's our perception of energies and time, because when I talk to Sean and we're writing that book and he keeps telling us that he keeps putting it his mom asked, so how long were you waiting there? Because, we're trying to put a timeline together of his death and stuff. And he goes, well, and he doesn't know. He doesn't really know because it's so different over there. You know what I mean? Time doesn't exist. So he's trying to figure out how to translate it into human days and times, and that is his uncle who comes through too. He can do it very quick. He goes, yeah, that was a day or two. I think it's just kind of cross longer than Sean.
Yeah, he's got a better understanding over there.
How to define it in human terms to us. I think that's the biggest thing.
Sure. This show also talked about how, when you're having fun, time flies, and when you're having a bad time, time goes on forever. And it talked about how, the only thing that's really keeping time for us is our bodies. Our bodies are actually the timepieces because we wear down over time.
Oh my God, yes. I'm worn down. I'm way worn down. Someday, hopefully before I get out of here, that they come up with it where you can get a new body. You can jump your soul into somebody else. I was always thinking about that when I channel. I wonder if I could channel and go into somebody else and stay there, like a Freaky Friday type of thing.
Sure. Yeah, I wonder if, there's a lot of parameters there, I suppose. Is it voluntary or is it you just jumping in and moving in? I guess I'm living here now,
If anyone wants to change bodies, let me know. We can try it.
I'm not ready.
No, you're in the same place I am, so I'm not jumping into the same type of
Can we block out some childhood? Hey, I block out childhood memories. I'm Candy's talking about, can we block some childhood memories and stuff out? There's things in my life where I've definitely blocked them out, and I've had to have occurrences that have reminded me of them at times. You know what I mean? Like somebody came into the store today that I haven't seen in 15, 20 years, and it made me absolutely just remember a slew of memories that I have totally forgotten about. So I kind of think that we can really block out some memories and trauma-based, all that kind of stuff too. But I think over time, some things are just more prominently in our heads than other things.
Right. And I also do in my classes, I do what I call mountain work, where we go in and we remove some of the triggers and some of our past life crap. And so there are people out there that can help you remove some of those blocks, keep it away. All right, so I'll go back. So add your website up. HBS, right?
HWS.
HWS.light. So come out and buy the CBD stuff. What a great website. The stuff works great. I love it. Love the smell. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Great.
So hopefully you guys will come out and do it. But Nate, thank you so much for here. And by the way, if you heard tonight him calling Breanne Breezy, that's her nickname, Breezy.
Breezy. Yeah, that's what her family's called her all of her life, I guess. So That's what we call her.
Yeah, so that's Breezy. So I'll thank her for it, and hopefully she's, her appointment's going well. And so where else? I mean, you're on Facebook too?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I do have a YouTube channel. I haven't been the best at doing the whole monitoring of that one and updating of that one. But I got some videos. If you want to check out the farm, you can see some pictures on most of those things. A lot of product pictures, but yeah, we have a lot of videos and stuff as well where we show some of our plants and everything. So if you find us on YouTube, you can get a look at some of our fields and plants and stuff like that.
Yeah, great. Well, as always, I'm on ScottyRorek.com, Scotty Rorek, Facebook, Scotty Rorek Second Medium on Facebook. Just come find me. You'll see. Do Scotty Rorek and right there and Google it. And I think there's like 60 pages with crap in my name. So it's kind of fun. Yourself, you got to Google yourself sometime. But thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next Wednesday night, of course, always 7 p.m. right here on Shadow Hunters page. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Bye.